My name is Dickerson, write-in mayor candidate for Cahokia Heights. My brothers and sisters, before we talk about this election, before we talk about leadership, before we talk about change, we have to talk about bias. Bias is not just an opinion, it's a weapon. It's when people dismiss you not because of what you stand for, but because they refuse to see you as an equal. It's when people ignore the facts because the truth is inconvenient. Bias is when they decide the outcome before the fight has even begun. Bias is why they tell me I can't win instead of debating whether I should win. Bias is when they tell you this city can't be saved instead of asking why it was allowed to fail in the first place. Bias is why some people fear standing with me because they know the price of challenging those in power. But let me ask you this. If bias got us here, do you really think that silence is going to save us? Bias isn't just talk. It has real consequences for every single person in Cahokia Heights. I know you guys remember when there was a time where people felt safe, when gunshots weren't the background noise of our nights. Now crime is rising and no one in leadership has done anything really to stop it. Who's seen a once thriving neighborhood turned into burnt down homes and abandoned lots because leadership let it rot? Ask Kevin Richardson, who says, we need to take responsibility for our city. And he's right. But how can we clean up the city when our leadership itself is dirty? Bias protects the people in power. It lets them fail without consequence. It turns our neighbor against our neighbor so we don't turn against them. It makes you afraid to support me, not because I'm wrong, but because they will punish you for believing in something different. I know some of you are afraid to say my name, to support me publicly. And I don't blame you, because when you challenge those in power in Cahokia Heights, you become a target. They retaliate. They take jobs. They cut off opportunities. They make examples out of those who dare to step out of line. But let me be clear, I will not be intimidated. They've come for me, and it only proves what I've been saying all along. This city is being run like a dictatorship, not a democracy. If we allow bias, corruption, and intimidation to control us, we have already lost. Because the biggest weapon they have isn't their money, their contracts, or the stolen power. It's our silence. So I ask you, will you be silent? Will you let them keep playing a game where only they win while the rest of us suffer? Or will you stand up? Not just for me, but for yourselves, for your family, for the next generation who deserves more than a broken city they have been handed. If you want to live in a city where crime is normal, where corruption is excused, where leadership is inherited instead of earned, then do nothing. Keep the status quo. Keep pretending like these elections don't matter. But if you believe Cahokia Heights deserves better, then the time is now to fight. I'm not just a write-in candidate, I'm your candidate. And together we can win. I don't make empty promises. I don't hide behind titles or corrupt deals. I have stood with you when no one else would, and I will keep standing even when they are trying to tear me down. But I cannot do it alone. This city belongs to you. This election belongs to you. And we have to rise together. They will hear us, whether they like it or not. Vote for Dickerson. Speak out. Take your city back. Thank you.